Why can I not open this door? And why is this door locked? Wait a minute, I can't go in there. Why is this building here if I can't go inside of it? What? Why would there be a chain in front of this building? Friends, I think Disney has been lying to us, and they've been creating fake buildings all around their parks. What? There's free parking at DCA? That's gotta be fake. That can't be real. Are you sick of being lied to? Do you want to know the truth? In today's video, we're going to discover the fake buildings of Disney's California Adventure. Why would they lie to us? Fake building. Fake building. They're all around us here. Brickey here with another Disneyland Designer Deep Dive. Today we're looking at the fake buildings of DCA. Friends, this is an exciting day because you're inside of a Disney park. And what's the first thing that typically grants you when you enter almost every single Disney park in the US? Well, you go down a main street. You go down some sort of main thoroughfare. Today I'm in Disney's California Adventure and it's called Buena Vista Street. However, what you see when you walk through this main street is a series of buildings cut up to look like a real marketplace, a real little town. It's the storytelling of Disney, and it's how they lie to you. Not really, but it is a misconception of, oh, there's all these little stores and shops around me, even though most of us know that it's just one building. So if we take DCA, for example, we see a series of little buildings all down Buena Vista Street, each of them with their own unique design aesthetics, each of them telling a different story that sets you in the backdrop that is Disney's California Adventures Buena Vista Street that takes place in 1923 when a young Walt Disney makes his way out to California. And as you come through this marketplace of shops and stores and restaurants and opportunities, it all looks real. And even though it really is full of merchandise and opportunities for ways for you to experience the park and spend money, it's fake in that they're an assortment of little cutouts in one larger building. But that's not what we're talking about today. Because these buildings are technically what I would consider to be a real building, because we can go inside. And even though we might not be able to use their associated doors and never make it to their second floors, and even though we can't go into each little pocket, we can cruise through the entire thing, making these real stores. That's, again, not what we're talking about today. We're sure we can't make it into the candy shop from the street outside, but we can cruise through the arcade. And here we can go from delicious treats to items for your home, for keepsakes and collectibles. And I have to say real quick, what a collection is over here on this wall. I kind of want these. I kind of also want these weird statues of Mickey, and then look at that, the studio signs. Stay focused, Brickey. So somewhat real, somewhat fake, but you can still go inside, you can still shop, you can still experience it. But now, let's get to what we're talking about today. It's one of my favorite things that Disney does to mess with your mind. Today we're exploring the fake buildings of Disney's California Adventure. Now let's start in the fakest land of them all, Hollywood, where everything's a lie. Everything is disguised to make you think that it's something that it's not. Let's find some fake stores at Hollywoodland and break down what this design theory is. Here on the corner of the Hollywood Studios, we have our first fake building. And I define this as a fake building because we see the outer facade, we see this Art Deco styled studio building with all of its details, but we never go inside this building. It's not a part of our experience. And it's absolutely beautiful. It does not ruin our experience whatsoever. In fact, this building pluses our experience because instead of just seeing the inner courtyard of award wieners and where you would wait to see Mickey's PhilharMagic, we see this beautiful Art Deco building further in the storytelling that we are in 1920s Los Angeles. So imagine, without this facade, you would just see this on the corner. And seating is important. You need a place to eat your hot dog. I recommend the Philly cheesesteak, don't get the green sauce on it. But imagine this corner if you could just look over and see this seating and patio. It would be so different. Would it be the same level of storytelling that we see when we actually see the building that sits on the corner? But we don't always know what's inside of the fake buildings. But the fake buildings are always here with design intent, and that's what I love. Above Stroller City, or behind Stroller City, we see another fake building of Hollywoodland that advertises to us flowers, sweets, and even pet supplies, what we all need when we're inside of DCA. But it's a fake building. We never get to go inside of this thing. And it houses one of my greatest, most favorite DCA designer details. The guardian, not of the galaxy, but of Hollywoodland. Look at them up there, overlooking their street. Absolutely beautiful building. But next door we have another fake building, a fake department store here on the corner, once again in that same design aesthetic with the marble inlay on the outside door with the brass and gold doors, but we can't go in it. We can't go in any of this. However, these two stores, not being one design, but being two different aesthetics, it moves the story along. And then behind me, fake building, fake building. They're all around us here. But even though they're fake, the detailing and the design and the love and care is absolutely real. The Role Models building here has quite the entryway, even though none of us will ever go inside. And I know to some capacity we may actually go inside these buildings, but we don't go in for the intent that is sold to us on the outside, making it a lie, making it fake. When we find ourselves on the edge of Hollywoodland, we are completely surrounded by the fake buildings of Hollywoodland. And Disney puts a lot of love and care into them. This building was just recently completely rescaffolded, repainted. The peanut butter and jelly building is much darker of a color than what it was before. And then next door, the macaroni and cheese building looks even more macaroni-y, more cheesy. But as we check out the design embellishments on the side of this building, they add so much character that makes the park feel more real. And then look at these cool old school overhangs of the sidewalk, where ladies and men could stand here and peer through the windows of what's inside the store without ever having a drop of rain on their head. And then look, a fake neon sign for a fake service that doesn't exist. Bro, when's the last time you bought a La Brea carpet? Never. In some regards, these buildings have even greater details than the other buildings because I feel like Disney's really trying to sell you the idea that it's real because it's not. Fake billboard, but for real Coca-Cola. And then we have these two gentlemen squaring off. Have you ever noticed these guys squaring off and having a staring contest with one another? Probably not. But if you do look up and you do see them, it's just another level of storytelling that makes all of this feel real to your brain because it's exactly how a real city would be designed. Now I'm going to break through. I'm going to break right through, not a fake building because we can get refreshments outside. But just imagine if those buildings on the corner weren't there, we would just see a stage. And there would be no backstage, or you see all the infrastructure. So even though the buildings are fake to us, the purpose that they serve is very real. Backside of Schmoozies. Oh, there's nothing better than the backside of Schmoozies. Look at it. It's better than the backside of water. It's a modern marvel of architecture. It's not always as easy as what we see behind Moon Girl, where you literally see the brick wall and the framework behind it, because after all, the idea is this land is a Hollywood backlot. It even says so right there. When we come over to the corner of Sunset Boulevard, we see this building, which is completely fake and probably our easiest one to break down, but it's not always going to be this easy today. And then there in the middle, those are props. Those aren't fake buildings. I mean, they're fake buildings, but they're more like props. So here, it's just all way more predictable, easier to understand because it's designed to be fake. Like, those are literally the windows that look out onto the street on the other side, as well as the steel work. You can see the aluminum sheets, that everything is on the other side. And then you got the backdrop above us. How well does it match today? Not too well. But when we look at the front of this building, we feel like there is a real little Hollywood city that's right in front of us. And you know, of course, these are fake. That's not what we're talking about. These are called props. Now, as we exit Hollywood Studios, it's going to be a little bit trickier to find the fake buildings because the buildings we just looked at, they're just facades. Facades for storytelling, placed there to create perfect sight lines for our experience. But as we move around DCA, it's going to get trickier to figure out what exactly the building's purpose is other than to create, last step's a big one, other than to create perfect sight lines for us to explore and not get distracted by how the cast members have to do their jobs. And massive, massive fake studio building. So is the giant HQ building in Avengers Campus, is it a fake building? Kinda yes, kinda no. At some point, this building will be the front facade for the future e-ticket attraction. And it currently exists as a stunt performance space, and they are building a store in the further corner over here. So it's kind of more of a elaborate, good things to come building versus a fake building. But there is one major fake building inside of Avengers Campus, which is just great storytelling. As we look behind Pim's Test Kitchen, and we really zoom in, you can see the backside of all of the buildings over in Hollywoodland have just a giant Pim label on it, making us think that this is a big factory where all of the experiments take place inside of Pim's Test Kitchen. But what's this building? What's that little tower that pops up on the top side? So in a very elaborate way, Disney uses the building behind all of this to paint it the same color, to put the same logo on it, just to give our minds an idea of like, oh, back there is where they do all the experiments for the test kitchen. It's just a great way of using what's behind that building to make us feel inside of Avengers Campus completely locked into the storytelling. Which when we contrast the fake Pim kitchen backdrop to the backside of the theater, one looks like it belongs, one just looks ugly, like we're not supposed to see it. Another interesting detail inside of Avengers Campus is the Spider-Man stunt building. Even though technically is a fake building, they didn't go out of their way to show us any entrances or fake windows or doors. This is the outer facade of the Spider-Man web slinger attraction. Formerly, it's a Bug's Life film that happened in there, but they did something important. They didn't put any entry points or misleading ways to get inside of this building, because the idea is they want you to stand over on this side to watch Spider-Man take his flight daily. So as much as I like this show building, I label this more as facade. This is more of a storytelling device. It's also where you can meet Spidey to get your photos taken with them. Make sure you watch the video in the link below where I give you a complete guide to Avengers Campus. Oh, a little bit of magic. But this is more of a facade than a fake building. But our next location has tons of fake buildings, legit fake buildings that do such a great part of storytelling. Let's check out the fakeness of Radiator Springs. So where I'm walking right now, not a fake building, because this actually used to be used as the Blue Sky Cellar, where they would show you new projects that they were working on. We got an advanced look at Pixar Pier in there. So it is a real building, even though it really doesn't get used anymore. But it does create one of the best quiet paths in all of DCA. I love walking through here. It's complete escapism, but not a fake building. Stay focused, Brickey. What do you know? It still is getting used, just not for us. All right, one of my absolute favorite looks into Radiator Springs, AKA Cars Land. To make this Route 66 feel real, it has to feel like we're traveling down the highway, the secondary road that it's all themed after. So to do that, we need to see lots of little locations all along its main thoroughfare. However, Disney can't give us, the guests, the entire land. They have to have their operations in there. They have to figure out a way to still put on the show that is Cars Land. And they do this in a way where it doesn't compromise our experience, because we just walk by and think that we keep seeing more storytelling, even though some of the story that they're telling is not accurate or real. We have our authentic postcard style billboard. Then we have our authentic welcome to Radiator Springs, the gateway to Ornament Valley, population 12, elevation 160 feet. All of these signs are designed to just make the land feel real. And then there's the street sign. So as much as you and I would like for everything to be shops, restaurants, and attractions, it just logistically doesn't work out, because Disney needs their infrastructure to make all of this happen. Let's find those fake buildings. This was the first one to really blow me away. When I came into this land for the first time, I'm like, But what is this building? What is the Carburetor County Tractor Feed and Farm Trick Association Hall? Meetings, first Tuesday of every month at 7:30 p.m. But this is no meeting that we can join 7:30, the first Tuesday of the month. This is a cast member building that we don't get to experience, but with its authentic design, it never diminishes our experience, because as we walk through here, we just see a building that feels very, very real, right? It looks like an administrative building inside this little town with the brickwork, with the murals, with the rustwork. Like, it just feels legit. Imagine if it was just a big blue or green box. That wouldn't feel the same way as them going through the effort to create this brick facade, put all these amazing painted out windows and murals on it. Like, it feels legit, and it doesn't ruin our experience, but it's fake. Now, even though we never get to actually go into a mechanical clinic that looks like a hospital, it's real, because what we're looking at is just an extension of the seating for flows. So it is real, even though it's not really what it says it is. This is more of what I call the Main Street USA technique of taking a building, cutting it up into little slices, so the world just feels a little bit bigger to you. And now over my shoulder, purposefully blurred out, because I try to never show restrooms or people outside of the restrooms, that's just rude. But I did want to show that you can see that the restroom section gets broken up into different little aesthetics. Even though it's not really what it says it is real, because it's the restroom. And being a different color sort of indicates to our mind that's where the bathroom starts. If someone says, hey man, the bathroom's down that way. So, in the middle somewhere. But now let's look at the fakest buildings that I love so much in Radiator Springs, Cars Land, because they're not in front of a restroom, but they also add that quaint little downtown feeling that you would experience if you were taking a ride down Route 66, taking the long way, baby, from Santa Monica to Chicago. Not one of my favorites, because it's very debatable. Is the motel lobby fake or real? Well, it really is designed to be like a motel lobby. We can see inside of it. It does serve the visual purpose of having a backdrop for the meet and greets, and also setting up a separation between the meet and greet and the cozy cones, creating an important divisional line, but we never get to go inside of there. So I don't know. Comment below on this one. Real or fake? Because there's a lot of realness to it, but it's fake because we never get to enjoy it. So here on the corner of Cross Street and Route 66, we have Luigi's, but the whole building doesn't need to be Luigi's, because if we break this building up, if we segment it up, we get more storytelling, which is why I love Mr. Curb Feeler, right? A little fake store set here on the edge of the town. And then we also have Sparky's, equipped with fake merchandise, fake savings and deals, where we see the merchandise. But a great detail are these stickers, Knights of Combustion. Sort of those stickers that you see out front of little small retailers to let you know that they're a trusted member of the community. I love this, and I apologize about the reflection. It's hard to film glass during the day. And there is the Chamber of Commerce sticker there in the bottom corner, just like it would be placed if this were actually a real business in Radiator Springs. Another one on the other window as well. We can see these are equipped with the famous neon of Cars Land. And just imagine, if this neon wasn't here, if these two extra shops wasn't here, it would just be more of Luigi's. It wouldn't be bad, but it wouldn't be as good as what this is, creating that extra level of storytelling. And there's even one across the street. I'm talking about the Oil Pan, a really tight little building that adds so much extra storytelling with its faux old school, purposefully faded mural on the side of the building that even has a level of storytelling that it looks like it was painted over, because it once used to say service, letting you know that maybe there was a service station here before the Oil Pan, but now there's a second mural on top of the old ghost mural. And you can even see sort of the outline of the first one where it says store. Now friends, that is storytelling. And because we have the gift of shade and echo, you can just see the products over here better, as well as the little association stickers and the different credit cards they take. These stickers are pretty faded. They're here from opening day. And there's a better shot of the Knights of Combustion association sticker. You can see real fake products, real fake signs, sales and deals. And then look at these little oil drops on the doors. Amazing. Then we look on the other side of the street. We just imagine if it wasn't cut up into 3 little slices, it just wouldn't have the same level of storytelling that it does. And then at the very end of the road, we have sort of the Town of Radiator Springs administrative building, where there's the statue out front, but it's also just the backdrop that brings you down the entire road. Remember when we were way down there at the blue cellared patio? This is the object that brings us further in. It's a visual anchor that tells us that if we keep going forward, we'll only find more of the town of Radiator Springs. Not really an administrative building, not really a traffic court in there or a sheriff's office. The kind of administrative details that makes this land feel completely legitimate and real when you're working your way down to Radiator Racers. So when you walk through Radiator Springs, you see all of these details around you that make the little town aspect of it feel so much more real because they took the time to cut it up into all these literal pieces. Imagine if this was just one thing, or if just the rocks were at the end of the road. It just wouldn't have the same effect of drawing you into a story, making you feel like you're really inside the small, quaint town of Radiator Springs. It's absolutely amazing. And the fake buildings do so much of the real storytelling that we all feel. But Radiator Springs isn't the only land that uses small chop-ups of a street to put in more storytelling. Let's head over to San Francisco Street. So before we make our way over to San Francisco Street, let me ask you, real or fake? What's your opinion? After we've done this designer deep dive for a minute, I'd love to know where your vibe is, because what I see this is an entirely different design concept. What I see behind me, I perceive not as a fake building or real building. I mean, it's obviously real because there's the bakery in there, and then you can also eat at the restaurant on the corner. But what I look at this as is this is a very elaborate fence or a wall. I like the term fence though, because a fence keeps the idea that it's keeping something out. And what it's keeping us out of is looking into the Pacific Wharf. So with having this big fence behind us that's cut up into all these little different buildings, it gives us the idea that there is so much happening currently over in the Pacific Wharf, but soon, San Fransokyo, nailed it. But it gives us the idea that there's so much adventure over there while actually showing us not anything that really exists. It's a fence, it's a wall, keeping us visually away from what's there, so we go over there and explore it for ourselves. And that's why these design techniques are so great. They're all designed to entice us to go deeper into the park, to go a little bit further, because what lies around the bend. So over on the corner here, we have the Embarcadero, a corner store, and then on the other corner, we have the restroom. But the 3 buildings in the between each have their own row house vibe, giving off San Francisco vibes, with fun details inside the window, like the Sausalito Maritime Bank, established in 1898, the Cable Car Financial, riding the ups and downs of finance, that's pretty funny, and also the phones of Alcatraz. But what this area offers is San Francisco vibes in a park that was themed after California, but it also puts a little community, a little city on the edge of Ariel's undersea adventure, but a little transitional story from going from the pier over to Grizzly Peaks, as if you're really traveling up and down the coast. These buildings have so many designs embedded inside of them. When's the last time that you stopped and paid attention to San Francisco Street? And also, as part of Lunar New Year, they decorate this pretty big time over here because San Francisco is the home of one of the largest Asian populations inside of America. It's where many Asian folks landed when they came to the US for the first time. So taking this street and making it part of that celebration is just a detail in storytelling that makes everything in here feel even more authentic. Wow, chef's kiss to San Francisco Street. and nobody makes videos about San Francisco Street but me. So if you enjoy this type of insanity, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because it's really hard to find an audience for things that are this niche. I appreciate you showing up. All right, I'm learning you. What do you think? The Eureka Gold and Timber Mill. Is this a real building or a fake building? Neither. It's a prop. I refer to these as prop buildings, as in buildings that are planted to tell a story, but they're not really a fake building because there's no part of us that thinks that we can go out there and go inside of the mill. The fake buildings are the ones that are right in front of us that feel as if we could go into them, but there's normally a rope or a lack of door to let us inside of them, therefore delivering the story of like, man, it feels real, like I could go in there, and you don't realize it's fake until it's too late. You're right in front of it and go, oh, I guess this is a fake building and part of the park. So this building right here further on the trail and the other ones that we'll go past, those to me are more of prop buildings. There's not a part of me that really thinks that I can go into the Eureka Gold and Timber Co., but it does look pretty real. Friends, I'm so confused. I don't know what's real anymore. I don't know what to believe. If we can't believe in Walt Disney Imagineering, what can we believe in? I hope you enjoyed today's crazy video and looking at the fake buildings of DCA and the real design techniques and strategies while they're placed in the park. Thank you so much for watching. I need to go find a real place because I'm really hungry. And I'm starting to get the feeling that's not a real mountain. So if you want to see a video all about Disney's forced perspective tricks and one that they do that's masterful at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, watch this video right here where I show you the secret building of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you real soon.